presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are MC.
Royals baseball comes to you from downtown Minneapolis, where the Royals turned the page last night and with a brand new month took game one from the Minnesota Twins in nail-biting fashion, 7-6. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. The Royals needed to get off to a good start in a new month. And as fate would have it, while they had the worst record in the American League in August, they were facing a team who had the best record in the American League in August, the Minnesota Twins, and the Royals took game one last night.
That's right. We're up in September, and they got to keep it up. It's the big plays, though, that was impressive last night. We found out before the game that several of the players were talking about this is our playoffs starting now, September 1st. We've got to get it done. Moose with a timely home run there to tie Balboni's record. And Alexander, while coming into that circumstance there where it didn't look like the Royals were going to pull it off and shut the door down again, that was fantastic. These are the big plays they're talking about.
So the Royals picked up a game on Minnesota. You know, the Royals went 0-6 against the Twins to begin the season, but now the Bats have come alive. On Fox Sports Kansas City is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less.
Been great to see the home run production, the run production, all of it offensively against the Twins. The last 5 games, they've been taking care of it. 37 runs, that's working. Now look, it don't matter how they score them with the home runs. They had 10 against them during that time. But we'd like to see the average of runners in scoring position continue to stay the same. That's scoring runs without the long ball. But Moose, oh man, he's loose. Let him stay loose. Hope he continues.
When he's on, Kyle Gibson gets a lot of ground balls, and he's been pitching well over his last 6 starts. He'll get the start for Minnesota tonight. on the line tonight. The Royals can win another series. They can move back to the 500 mark. Mike Moustakas can break the Royals' all-time single-season home run record. And most importantly, they can pick up a game in the wild card. It's 80 degrees. It is sunny in downtown Minneapolis. It's nights like these that inspired the Minnesota Twins going back outside again and opening this ballpark in 2010. And they still have a game-and-a-half lead for the second wild card spot. The Yankees have won today. They beat Boston. Everyone else is either just underway or playing later tonight. The Royals picked up a full game on Minnesota last night. They are 3.5 games back. And a big night for the Royals on offense last night. The Royals had a 5-run third inning and a 2-run sixth inning. They hit 2 more home runs and finished with 7 runs on 12 hits to take game 1 from Minnesota. And that was with Dylan G starting for the Twins. Tonight it's right-hander Kyle Gibson. He's pitched well lately, so that 5.59 ERA is a bit deceptive.
Yeah, but that 303 average ain't, believe it, 4th worst in the American League, so get him. Anything up, he's a sinker ball pitcher. If sinker balls aren't sinking, they're up above the belt, that's when you get him and find the holes. Right there, fastball, middle of the plate, center cut. Slider change curve. He's a ground ball worm burning machine. Likes to get those outs on the ground, so finds them holes.
One and one on WHIT. He opened the game with a single to center field last night and was 1 for 5. Some late movement over the outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kyle Gibson's big. He is 6'6", 216 pounds, 29 years old. A one-time Twins first-round pick in 2009 out of Mizzou. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He is not a Missouri native. He grew up in Indiana. And while in Columbia, he crossed paths with Aaron Crow and Max Scherzer.
How about it? Aaron Crow recovered from his Tommy John. I haven't seen him. Is he active?
He has not pitched in the big leagues.
Okay.
Since his Tommy John surgery.
Okay.
Changeup.
Minnesota Twins defensively. Adrianza, left fielder. He's young. 4th career start. Test him. Aim for left. See what he can do. Put him up against the wall. Hit some shots out there. Ball carries there nicely. 339 down the left field line. And they believe Lorenzo Cain's going to pull as Dozier joined the other guys over there. Polanco and Escobar, 3-man left side of the infield. I think he's going to pull.
Lorenzo drove in the first of the 5 runs in the 3rd inning and finished the night 1 for 5. Also had a run scored. One ball, 1 strike. Minnesota with a surprisingly good year. Nobody expected this, but they do not play well at home. And that applies to Kyle Gibson, our Toyota League leaders. He has the 5th highest home ERA in the major leagues. Cain does pull it. So Adrianza brings it down in left center field. Minnesota, even with their loss to the Royals last night, they have still won 7 of their last 8 at home, but they're still 2 games under 500 at home. So they've done their damage on the road. 10 games above away from Target Field.
A little bit unusual, but interesting.
Two down, and now Melky Cabrera. He had a 4-hit game last night. It was the 23rd time in his career that he's had 4 or more hits. He drove in a run. He had gone 13 games without driving in a run.
Well, that's a good sign. They need him in the worst way. He's had trouble with Gibson in his career, though. Just 2 for 23. Gotta have him. He's spraying the ball all over the ballpark.
A 3-pitch strikeout, so he is 2 for 24 against Kyle Gibson, who has a 1-2-3 first with 2 strikeouts. In the major leagues in the month of August, fueled by offense. They had the 2nd most runs in August, the 2nd most home runs in August, and they made things interesting last night, rallying in the 9th inning and getting 2 runs, but falling a buck short. And the Royals took game 1 7-6, and now Onelki Garcia will make his 2nd appearance with the Royals and his 1st major league start.
Pulling for this young man right here. He's been through a lot in his young career. Phillips 66. What's in the tank? How about a fastball? 67% of the time. You'll run that up there at 93 to 96. It's got a little bit of run, a little bit of sink to it. Curve and a change. Change-up might be his best secondary pitch, but that pitch right there, whatever it was, it looks like a heater, is going to be his best pitch tonight. Strike one. Get ahead. Try to eat up some innings. Try to go 5 at least. Command the fastball. Right there where Salvi's sitting.
0-2, and this is a lot less tense for Garcia than his Royals debut, and he was thrown in the fire on Sunday at Cleveland.
And you know, the first inning, you know, obviously this first time in him, you know, they hit him. This is a red hot Indians team, but then he settled down. He mowed him down. He looked good. He was smooth, and therefore he earned this start when it came up. Ooh, good spot. Stay right there. Stay on the corners. Look at him. He's staying away from Dozier. Dozier likes to attack the fastball, but that's often. Probably try to stay away from any kind of body language early. Stay under control. It's a big opportunity for O'Nelky. He's had plenty of time.
From 0-2 to a walk.
Ford around the horn, Royals defense. Alex Gordon has been a delight to watch out in left field. 11+ defensive runs saved. Best amongst American left fielders, American League. Solid. Need his defense out there as much as his bat. Whatever they can get out of that would be a bonus.
Ball one on Mauer. Joe Mauer drove in the 2 runs in the 9th inning for Minnesota last night. That was the only hit. Minnesota had 5 base runners in the 9th inning and 1 hit. 1-1.
Don't let the adrenaline take over on you if you're O'Nelky Garcia. That was a good sinker. That ball had some little bit of sink to it. He's got sink and run, but don't overthrow it. If you overthrow it, it stays straight. I like the movement.
That is to a wide open right center field. Joe Mauer extends his hitting streak to 11 games. A walk turns into a run, and Minnesota leads 1-0 in the first.
Mauer, a 280 hitter against lefties, knows what to do with a fastball at 92 out over the plate. He's going to have to locate a little bit better. And O'Nelky could bring in some secondary pitches now. They're going to sit on that heater, but he's going to have to feature that curveball and changeup at some point.
And now Byron Buxton. Could you have imagined when we last saw the Twins in early July that he would be hitting 3rd for the Twins this year? Tries to drop down a bunt.
No. It's almost as big a shock is Polanco batting 4th.
Now those numbers altogether don't look like a number 3 hitter, but with Buxton, you got to look at what he's done in the last 3 or 4 weeks. And that bunt caught the Royals' attention. They bring the corners in, and now it's outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Byron Buxton started the year 93 games. He hit .218 with a .306 slugging percentage, but in his last 21, .359 with a slugging percentage over .700, and he hits it into right center field. And Buxton will go to 3rd, round 3rd, and 3 batters into the bottom of the first inning. Minnesota leads 2-0.
Yeah, you know how difficult it can be. I mean, there's a changeup that is just too much of the plate. And you can tell by Buxton's approach with nobody out and a runner at second, he wanted to move the runner. So he kept his hands inside the ball and did even better. And just get him over. Got him over and in. And now he's got himself sitting over there at third base, nobody out. Royals in some deep problems here early.
He'll bring the infield in halfway. And a strike to Jorge Polanco. Interesting with Buxton's speed at third that they are in halfway and not all the way in. That's, if not the fastest player in the league, one of the top 3 fastest players in the league.
I would agree with that.
And that's to the gap in left center field. Polanco drives in Buxton, and the Twins open with a walk, a double, a triple, and another double, and it's 3-0, nobody out.
Wow. Huh. So you're looking at this, you're saying, you know, you need to throw strikes, but you have to throw quality strikes. And when the first hitter is walked, now there's a little doubt, and Mauer gaps him, Buxton gaps him. Now there's some self-doubt in Garcia. He's going to have to get himself out of this one, or Royals got to get something going in their pen.
And they will. Andres Machado, who was called up yesterday from AAA Omaha, begins warming up in a hurry. Over the outside for a strike with a changeup, and not just any walk to begin the inning, but a walk where Garcia was ahead 0-2.
You know, when he wasn't getting the strikes right after that, he showed some body language that wasn't good.
That'll move the runner, and the Royals get the first out of the inning. Polanco goes to third. 1 down.
You know, you can't nibble. I mean, you can't get a tin cup out there early in the first hitter and expect the umpire to give you any pitches after that. When you look away and you kind of show some body language to the umpire, like you missed the call when the pitch was 3 inches off the plate. That was a visual sign to me that maybe there's some self-doubt right there.
Now the infield comes in a little closer. Strike 1 on Mitch Garver.
And if I can read that, those professional players can read that. Ooh, man.
Got home plate umpire Mike Winters.
Yeah. 95. You know, I see those umpires once in a while. I'll go down and check on them. I'll say, hey, oh, by the way, hey, stay away from those foul tips to the head. And they're like going, really? Just joking. You don't have time to. And that thing is on them in a heartbeat. You can't get out of the way of that. Onelki Garcia has a chance. He can execute some pitches here. Get out of this inning. Hold him right there.
Mitch Garver just made his big league debut on August 19th. Trying to drive in his first big league run with Polanco at third base and 1 out.
About a strikeout for confidence. Nothing too good. There you go.
He thought about it. Marty Foster says no swing. 1-2. Garver was the Twins catcher last night with Dylan G on the mound. He's the DH tonight. Chris Jimenez is back at the plate for Minnesota as Jason Castro is still out with a concussion. He will probably be back when Minnesota is at Kauffman Stadium next weekend. 2-2. That is foul.
Changeup will work there for an out.
Kyle Gibson had a quick top of the first inning with a couple of strikeouts and trying to stay loose as Minnesota is piling up the runs in the bottom of the first. Polanco's at third base with one out. And a ground ball past Moustakas. 4-0 Minnesota as Garver drives in his first major league run.
And that was 87. Changeup way up. Going to get hit. And that's seen enough.
Five of the first 6 reach, and Ned's going to go to the bullpen. So Andres Machado will make his big league debut in a Chevy call to the bullpen.
Garcia, my stomach hurts for him. It's a big opportunity for me, you know. And this first inning is tough. Whether you're a rookie making your first major league start or whether you're a 10-year veteran, it can be tough trying to find your pitches. Minnesota didn't give him a chance. They barreled everything that he threw. Gappers, walks, doubles, triples, doubles, singles. They just you can't go on with that. So Ned had to come and get him. Hopefully he'll get another shot somewhere down the line.
So the big league debut for Andres Machado, who's been in the Royals organization since 2011. 24 years old, and his first big league pitch is outside to Eddie Rosario. Machado had never pitched above A ball before this year. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. He started the season at Wilmington, and he was pitching out of the bullpen. He didn't get to Double-A until July, and was expected to finish the season there, but there was a need at Omaha. 2 balls and 1 strike, so he ended up in Triple-A, and now here he is in the big leagues after beginning the season in A ball.
Yeah, and you know what? And hopefully he can take this opportunity and run with it and hold these guys down right here. He's got an out. Runner at first base. If that was a changeup at 90, that looked great. Here comes another one. Yeah, that's what he's throwing. His fastball's 93 to 97. So his slider, and I can see his grip there. That was a changeup. A changeup at 88, 89. That's 90 miles an hour. That's really good. And he kept it on the outer half on a guy who can hit.
Three balls and 2 strikes on Rosario. He made the last out of the game with a strikeout against Scott Alexander last night with the bases loaded and 2 down. Still 3-2.
Big league baseball is not easy. If it was, everybody would be doing it. It's a lot. And for Onelki Garcia, you know, he knew it wasn't going to be easy. Just couldn't get through the first.
Runner going, and that's drilled to left field, but Alex is there. 2 outs, and Garver is back to first. He is from Venezuela, signed by the Royals in November of 2010. They brought him along very slowly. He spent 2 years at the Royals Dominican Academy. He was in rookie ball in 13, 14. He did not pitch in 15 because of an injury, and even pitched last year in rookie ball. So this was his first season in A ball.
Gotta love it.
Ball 1 on Chris Jimenez.
Being with a team where there happens to be a need at the big league level is the perfect place for a young guy with talent. You're going to get a shot. Every player wants to get to the big leagues. A lot of them don't.
Here's his slider. 2 balls and no strikes. His minor league ERA before this year was almost 5. Skied to left center field. Lorenzo Cain wants it. He's got it. So Machado comes on after Minnesota gets 4 against Garcia. He faces 2 and retires 2. Is a national story, and the Astros return home since Hurricane Harvey. They play a doubleheader today with the Mets. That's their mayor, Sylvester Turner, and when you know it, not only did the Astros win game 1 of a doubleheader, but they beat Matt Harvey, of all names, of all pitchers. And we hope you'll join Major League Baseball in its efforts to help victims of the devastation caused by Hurricane Harvey by visiting youcaring.com/MLB supports. youcaring.com/MLB supports.
Every little bit helps.
All right, the Royals.
Oh, watch out. This you know, foul balls up here. They don't have the screen, you know, that covers the crowd, and sometimes when those balls come back, you got to be watching the game.
I should point out that that foul ball was 10 rows in the second deck.
Yeah, but it was lucky. It just
that would be a heck of a screen.
Just glanced off the guy's shoulder. Oh, he wasn't looking. Ouch. Yeah, no, there's no screen up there. See the top part. That's what I'm saying. Some ballparks have screens up here. Top part, it would have saved a guy. He just got a bruise.
In the second deck?
Yeah, Fenway Park. It's covered all the way to the press box.
One and two on Eric Hosmer, who was on base 3 times last night and scored a run. And Kyle Gibson has faced 4 and struck out 3.
Changeup's working. That's going the other way. I'm sure he gets a lot of ground ball double plays on that too. He's a ground ball machine. Of course, nobody on. He's also used to getting runs. Twins this year supported him 6.3 runs per game. It's 3rd highest among pitchers to make 22 starts or more. He's been supported, well supported.
He did not swing. 1-1 on Salvador Perez, who had a very rare hitless game at Target Field. He was 0 for 4 last night. Hit sharply, but right to Escobar. And there are 2 down. And now Mike Moustakas with 2 down. 1 home run away from breaking the Royals' single-season home run record. He finally tied it last night after going 12 games without a home run. And it was a meaningful home run for the Royals as well. It was a 3-run home run and a 5-run third. He will instead line one into left center field. And that's the Royals' first base runner.
Sitting up away. Throws it away, hit it away. Good swing. That's nice. There you go. Sinker ball? That's a ball saying hit me right there.
Brandon Moss had a good night last night. Now, he only had 1 hit, which was a 2-run home run to help the Royals pull away, but he also made 3 hard outs. And a look at our Kubota power stats. That home run for Brandon Moss last night was his 5th against Minnesota this year. And he's not just hitting home runs, he's hitting .353 against the Twins. And that was a home run last night, just a line drive against Tyler Duffy in the 6th inning. 1-1.
I talked to him about hitting the ball hard last night on him. I said, way to go, look good. He goes, yeah, only got 1 that counted. And I said, well, what are you going to do about it? He said, I'm going to hit him soft and let them drop in there. Sometimes hitting them hard is overrated.
On the ground to Dozier, and that'll do it for the Royals in the second inning.
Here at Target Field, and Andres Machado has made his big league debut tonight. Joel Goldberg back in Minneapolis, and for Machado, he signed with the Royals out of Venezuela when he was 17 years old. He's now 24. Ryan mentioned that he was in Wilmington earlier this year. His manager was former Royal Jamie Quirk, and talking to Jamie said that Andres is aggressive, likes his fastball, has come a long ways, and that is not an exaggeration, guys. He had never been to A-ball before this year. Spent 5 seasons in rookie ball, plus missed a year with Tommy John. So this is a dream come true and a huge step for him this year, obviously. He said growing up in Venezuela, he told me his favorite players, Felix Hernandez, Freddie Garcia. That makes a lot of sense, 2 Venezuelan pitchers. And then he also said Henry Blanco, and I said, why Blanco? And he said, well, until I was 14, I was a catcher, so he was my favorite catcher, another Venezuelan. He called his mom to let her know the other day that he was being called up to the big leagues, and of course, nothing but tears from mom back in Venezuela.
Built like a catcher.
He is. Strong lower half. Thanks, Joel.
Ari Adrianza is on with a leadoff walk, and that's how Minnesota's 4-run first began. Ryan Dozier was down 0-2 against Onelki Garcia, so it looked like Garcia was going to get off to a good start. And then Dozier ended up with a walk, and then the floodgates opened up. Mauer doubled, Buxton tripled, Polanco doubled, then an out. Garver drove in a run, and that was an end, or the end, for Garcia. Fastball at 95 to Dozier. And Minnesota will gladly take walks. They have the second most in the American League. They had 2 walks last night, but they didn't happen until the 9th. And one of those did turn into a run to make things a bit sticky. Until Scott Alexander came on and struck out Eddie Rosario to end the game.
Good finish.
Just missed. 2-1. There are similarities And big differences between the Royals and the Twins offensively. They have about the same batting average, the exact same home runs, but the biggest difference is walks, which has given them a difference in runs scored. Dozier went around, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Adrianza over there at first base, he wanted to steal. He took a jump and he took 2 steps and stopped. I think it distracted Dozier. He's got 8 steals, been caught once.
Three and two. If he's missing in this matchup with Dozier, it's not by much.
Yeah, Mike Winters is a little bit tight back there, but you know what? You got to just keep the ball down. Hope he hits it at somebody.
Adrianza takes off, and that is ball 4. Back-to-back walks to begin the bottom of the 2nd inning. Next Saturday, the Royals will be hosting the Twins and get to Kauffman Stadium early because the first 10,000 fans will receive a Royals sweatshirt blanket presented by Farmland. This blanket is made with soft sweatshirt material and is perfect for the cooler autumn months right around the corner. Royals.com, an area price chopper location, or 1-800-6-ROYALS for tickets. Joe Mauer doubled in Minnesota's first run in the 1st inning, driving it into right center field. Known more for hitting to the opposite field into center field. He pulled one into the right center field gap, and then he scored on a triple by Buxton. Fastball at 95 for strike 1. Well, the key for every pitcher is to get ahead, start with 0-1, and yet there are some hitters that doesn't affect them at all. Here, the highest batting average when down in the count 0-1. Mauer has the 3rd best average. He rarely swings at the first pitch if it's a strike. By the time he lets it go, he's seen 2 or 3 pitches and has a pretty good idea of how the ball is coming out of the pitcher's hand.
Real pro. That's what you do. Pick it up off the release point. He's a lane ball candidate, though. He's grounded into 14 this year. Maybe Machado can find the strike zone. Not get too flustered. One good pitch could bring you 2 outs.
Late swing, fouled away. 97 in on Mauer's hands.
A little bit tardy.
Slider is foul by less than a foot.
Ooh, man, that would have been more trouble there. Just missed. Try the change up away here, see what happens. 2-2. Maybe he tries to pull it and hits it on the ground.
There's the changeup, and it's fouled away.
That's why he play him to the opposite field. He goes that way, always has. That's why he hits for a high average.
Past Moustakas and into left field. Adrianza comes to the plate. Alex's throw is late. Dozier takes advantage and goes into third. It is 5-0 Minnesota, and both innings have started with a leadoff walk that has turned into a run. And now here comes Ned Yost with nobody warming up in the bullpen. That is rare for Ned to make the first trip out there.
It is, but you know what? Sometimes as the field general, you need a firm talking to your player, and you got to. And that's what he's doing. He's saying, "Hey, look, we count on you. This is a big game for us. Forget about everything. Block it all out, and let's go. Throw strikes and get down in there. We're counting on you." I like that. Good for Ned. Showing his vein in his neck. I like it. He says, "I don't have anybody else out there to come in. You're my guy. Counting on you." Liked it.
And now Byron Buxton, he tripled to right center field, driving in a run and scoring a run in the first. Slider is swung on and missed. Ned going out there reminds me of a famous story when Greg Holland was making his big league debut in Oakland back in 2010. 1 ball, 1 strike. It was a similar inning to this one. Holland had walked a couple of guys. They had gotten a base hit, and you could just tell that he was nervous. And so again, it's very rare for Ned to go out and make the first trip. And now it's 1-2 on Buxton, but he went out there. All the infielders converged on the mound, and Ned said, "Well, young man, you've got yourself in a little jam here, don't you?" And Greg Holland, being a good North Carolina boy, said, "Well, yes, sir, I am." "All right. Well, here's what we're going to do," Ned says. Play is to first, and with Buxton's speed, he is safe, and Dozier scores. So a young guy who maybe wasn't fully aware of how fast Buxton is, maybe got a little casual on that little tapper. Buxton gets a base hit. And was Dozier coming right away?
No, he hesitated, and there wasn't even a look by Machado. Haas holds on. I don't think they get him anyway.
So it's a base hit and an RBI.
As a young man just looking for an out. Outs are really hard to come by the two young pitchers tonight for the Royals.
Outside to Polanco. He doubled in a run and scored himself in the first inning. Scored on a base hit by Garver, and now he has Maurer at second, Buxton at first, nobody out. The first 4 have reached for Minnesota in 2 consecutive innings. So Ned says to everyone gathered on the mound, "All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get a ground ball and a double play. Who wants a ground ball?" And Unievsky Betancourt, in his broken and limited English, raises his hand and says, "I will." And so Ned said, "Okay, Holly, you're going to make a good pitch to this hitter right here. He's going to hit a ground ball to Unievsky, and we're going to turn a double play, and we're going to get out of this inning." What do you think happened on the very next pitch?
No way. He hit it to him?
He hit a ground ball to Yuniesky Betancourt. They turned to double play. They got out of the inning. And that would have been a great time for Joel to interview Greg Holland when he came off the mound there. And what his thoughts were when Ned Yost predicted exactly what was going to happen.
Well, it would have been hard for Ned to tell him what to do with that little comebacker there, because that sometimes will rattle any pitcher, let alone a young guy making his debut. And didn't get an out on it even.
2-2 on Polanco. Well, the base hit by Mauer. I mean, if that is 1 foot to the left, it's the double play that Machado was looking for.
Yeah.
Like Moustakas with his sore right knee is not moving like he normally is. And now ground ball base hit into right field. Mauer will be waved home. Buxton will go to third. It is 7-0 Minnesota, and there's nobody out in the second inning.
Machado's staying away from him. You can see all those pitches away and out of the box. That was like 3 inches off the outside part of the plate. Polanco still wanting to pull him, staying hot. And believe me, when you put guys that aren't used to hitting in the middle of a major league order, you put them in those spots, that elevates their confidence. It makes them feel strong. They're like, all right, I'm in a run-producing position in the lineup. I'm going to come through for you. So there you go. Wait there. Those guys are making Molitor look good. Buxton in the 3-hole and Jorge Polanco, the shortstop, in the 4-hole.
And the top 4 hitters, if you go by on base percentage, they are a combined 8 for 8 in the first 2 innings.
Ouch.
It was 6 runs scored and 6 driven in. 0-2 on Escobar. And now Eric Skoglund warms up in the bullpen. Onelki Garcia went 1/3 of an inning. Machado got the last 2 outs in the first, and he faced only 2 hitters to get those last 2 outs. And now Escobar deep into right center field, and it plays off the wall. Buxton scores. Polanco is around third. Escobar is into third. And Minnesota has a 9-0 lead in the second inning.
Not a bad spot for the slider, but just good hit. Left-handed hitter's wheelhouse is down in there, though. And Escobar didn't miss it.
And still a runner at third with nobody out for Garver. He drove in his first big league run in the first inning. The top 4 hitters in the Minnesota lineup have all come up twice in the first 2 innings, and they have all scored twice in the first 2 innings. 1 ball and 1 strike on Garver. Two and 1. The first 4 reached for Minnesota in the first. The first 6 have reached for the Twins in the second. Three and 1. 9 runs, 8 hits already.
A lot of crooked numbers. It's too bad.
Three and 2. Skoglund is ready to go, and the Minnesota on deck hitter is left-hand hitting Eddie Rosario. And now the first 7 have reached. So Ned Yost gets 1/3 of an inning from his first pitcher and 2/3 of an inning from his second pitcher. Eric Skoglund is a Chevy call to the bullpen. The Kansas City Marathon is on Saturday, October 21st. It's Kansas City's largest race and has distance options for runners and walkers of all levels, with a 5K, 10K, half marathon, and full marathon. Fireworks kick off the race, and every finisher gets a Kansas City Marathon shirt, a KC themed finishers medal, and live music at the Finish Live Festival. Learn more or register at kcmarathon.org. Well, Ned Yost got a combined 1 inning out of his first 2 pitchers tonight, and Eric Skoglund comes on with runners at first and third and nobody out. So the first 7 have reached. That was against Andres Machado, who came on for Odelky Garcia. Garcia got 1 out in the bottom of the first inning and had allowed 4 runs, and then Machado came on. He got a fly ball from Rosario. He got a fly ball from Jimenez. So 4 runs, a lot of game to play. Let's see how he does in his second inning. Well, the second inning began with back-to-back walks, and then the next 5 after that reached. And here's Skoglund.
Okay. Can't do much worse. Just go ahead and go in there, and, you know, and hope they hit it at some people. It's all throw strikes, no more walks. Walks aren't working. Never do.
Skoglund last pitched on Sunday at Cleveland. And that was a blowout win for the Indians, 12-0. Into the left field corner, and it drops foul.
Skoglund has a fastball, slider, curve. Changeup that he rarely throws is 1% of the time. So maybe tonight's the night where he tries to use the changeup more. See if he can get some outs with it.
2-2 on Rosario. Still 2-2. A near sellout crowd tonight. A little over 24,000 were here last night. They've only had 3 sellouts all year. There's a lot going on now in the Twin Cities. They have their state fair over in St. Paul. College football is up and going. Vikings are up and going. But now in this unexpected successful season for the Twins and holding on to the second wild card spot into September, fans are starting to come out again.
Can't beat the weather. I've talked to some locals. They're pretty proud of their state fair. They said it's one of the best in the country. Didn't have a chance to get to it. Meantime, Gibson's in there saying, wow, you know, I'm used to getting 6.3 runs per game, but this is a lot early. He'll take them.
In the air to right field. And Melky Cabrera, that is the first out of the inning. Escobar scores to make it 10-0. So it took 8 hitters to make 1 out. And now runner at first for Chris Jimenez. Jimenez flat out to center field to end the first inning. Jimenez has become the Minnesota primary catcher with Jason Castro on the disabled list. He has pitched 6 times this year. I mean, it's rare for a position player to make 1 appearance. Every now and then it seems like there'll be a season where a position player comes on more than once, but the Twins have used him 6 times as a pitcher.
In 1 year?
In 1 year.
Wow. You're lucky to get 6 times in your career. Just like you said, wow. I never got a chance to pitch, and I was always begging the skipper, put me in. It was a blowout game. He'd go, not now, Hud. Just sit back down. But look, I mean, would you like to have done it if you could have? Would you like to have pitched an inning? I think it'd have been a fun experience. Did you pitch any in college?
No. Yeah, maybe 1 inning.
Wow.
a walk. And the Royals have walked 5 in the first 2 innings. That's the first given up by Skoglund. Well, the timing of this game is not good because the Royals are running out of time to make a charge in the wild card. But if you're going to have a game like this, you prefer to have it in September when you have a bullpen full of arms.
Yep, you're right about that.
All of this began with a walk to Ari Adrianza, who bats for the second time. He walked, then Dozier walked, and then RBIs from Mauer, Buxton, Polanco, Escobar with 2, and Rosario. One and one. One and two. Got away with a high breaking ball.
It's a sweeper.
Two outs. Adrianza's down on strikes.
Skoglund reaching back. Throwing some 94 on the paint up in upper left corner of the strike zone. Good pitch.
And here's Brian Dozier with his 3rd plate appearance in the first 2 innings. Inside for ball 1. He walked in the first inning, and to think that all of this started tonight with Dozier down in the count 0-2. But Garcia was not able to put him away. Dozier ended up walking. Minnesota got 4 in the first, and they have scored 6 in the second. And it's easy to feel for Onelki Garcia and everything he has done to get back to the big leagues after making his debut in 2013 with the Dodgers. Pop up near the plate. And Salvador Perez will make the play. So Minnesota sends 11 to the plate, and they score 6 to take a 10-0 lead. Begins the top of the third inning. If you missed out on a theme ticket this season, now you have a second chance. Purchase a second chance theme ticket to guarantee yourself one of our theme ticket items from this year. You get your pick from the remaining inventory. Items will be available for redemption on a first come first served basis. To see what items are available and to purchase your tickets, go to Royals.com/theme tickets. Gibson throws a strike to Alcides Escobar. Gibson has set down 6 of 7 Royals with 3 strikeouts.
Gibson's job doesn't change. He's got to throw strikes, but certainly doesn't have any pressure on him if anybody gets on. It's a veteran. He's going to just throw some sinkers in there and let him swing. Royals get some guys on, get a couple of homers, they get back into this game. It's early. Seen a lot happen in the game of baseball.
Escobar had 2 hits last night and scored 1 of the 7 runs. Back to Gibson. And the Twins are doing it all in the first 2+ innings. 1 down.
Yep, Gibson, he's a sinker baller. That might have gotten through and gotten a base hit over there. They were playing Esky all to pull, which is kind of unusual. But you know, we talked about the opponent average against Gibson, 303. Also, on balls in play here at Target Field, they're hitting 368 balls in play. So look, you could get this guy offensively, get a little rally going. Got to find some holes.
Oh, 2 on Alex, who was not in the starting lineup last night for a 3rd straight game. And then Ned Yost went to him early for defense. He took over in the 6th inning. Ended up getting 1 at bat. Foul off the left field line. Late movement over the inside, and he has struck out 4.
Huh. Didn't have to be. Now that the game's 10-0, Mike Winters, is he going to open up his zone for both sides?
Yeah, he's about an inning late.
Yeah. I mean, where was he for the Royals young guys?
28-year veteran. He is the crew chief. Gibson struck out Merrifield with a changeup to begin the game. That fastball is high, 2-0.
Ben, you know, it's difficult for an offense to get going when you're down by this many runs. We haven't seen it too often this year. We saw it a couple of games in Cleveland.
Yeah, it's hard to go up there and think, get him on, get him over, get him in, because, well, now it's 10-1. It's so easy to think about, you know, driving the ball, hitting a home run, hitting a gap. The mindset completely changes.
It does. It does. But, you know, just like Gibson's job doesn't change, neither do the hitters. Hitters' job, they're not going to waste any at bats. So let's just see what happens.
3-2. Right side, Mauer comes way off the line and connects with Gibson. Joe Mauer, great high school quarterback in Minnesota, hit his receiver, and the Royals are down in order in the third. Is brought to you by the Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickup on the road. Find yours at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. By the Missouri Lottery, every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools. So play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. And by Ford, going further so you can. A lot of Royals fans over on the third base and left field side. It is 10-0 Minnesota. The Twins got 4 in the first, all charged to Onelki Garcia, and 6 in the second, all charged to Andres Machado. Eric Skoglund throws a strike to Joe Mauer.
Be a lot of Royals fans coming in from walking their dog outside, coming in and going, "Whoa, hey, what happened?" I mean, it just happened so quickly. Man, Skoglund, he got a chance to let his light shine if he can here. Just kind of throw some strikes, work a quick tempo.
Well, Ned Yost going to start working in some of his September call-ups. Get the guys ready for the day game tomorrow with Ian Kennedy pitching the final game of the series. And Paulo will get a ground ball base hit to him to begin the bottom of the third inning. Joe Mauer has his third hit in 3 innings. Orlando's in center, and Raul Mondesi is at shortstop. And here's Byron Buxton. Buxton is 2 for 2 tonight. He began the season hitting 125 against the Royals, 4 out of 32. No extra base hits, no RBIs in those first 32 at bats against the Royals. He is really scuffling. And now he's hitting third. He has driven in 2. Our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. That's a very elite list. 3 of the 4 are here at Target Field. Combination of power and speed. Players with 13 or more home runs, 24 or more stolen bases. Lorenzo Cain, Whit Merrifield, and Byron Buxton.
Yeah. Great combination if you can have it. Speed and power, it's rare. If you have one of those skills, that's good. If you have 2 and you have a good head on your shoulders, you got a chance to make some money in this game. Heck yeah, you got a chance to help your team win some ball games. But the Minnesota Twins and Paul Molitor deserve credit for staying with him and not benching him or sending him back to the minors, which has happened before with him. It's taken him. It hasn't been just. He didn't just get here. He's been patient with him. They always believed he could be a dominant type hitter. I wouldn't say that he's conquered that yet, but he's certainly looking good now.
He is much quieter at the plate. I remember him having a big leg kick, a lot more movement at the plate, and now just a very subtle stride.
I've been watching some of his highlights over this past month of August when he was hot. See, his starting position is much better. Starting position, you can tell he's more relaxed, just laying the bat on his shoulder. But before, he looked a little bit tight and was pressing. But you're right, he looks a lot better.
James Rowson is in his first year as Minnesota's hitting coach, placing Tom Brunansky. With Merrifield, threw over to first just in case, but that was not a double play ground ball with Buxton's speed. Mauer is out at second base, 1 down.
That's an interesting feed to Whitley Merrifield there. That's pretty good. He's off balance and he just kind of flipped it. Used to seeing Escobar over there. Mondesi's got some extreme talent. Very good feet and hands, just like Esky.
And now a strike to Polanco. He has 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. Ball was dropped by Skoglund on the return throw from Hosmer. Did it hit him? One and one. One ball and 2 strikes on Jorge Polanco. Another guy. The last time we saw the Twins, could not imagine hitting fourth. Now Miguel Sano is on the disabled list, so hitters have had to fill in the middle of the order in his absence. Out to Paulo in left center field, and that's out number 2. RBI Baseball 2017 returns with fast-paced pick-up-and-play MLB action on consoles and mobile. RBI Baseball is packed with your favorite teams, players, ballparks, and more. Learn more at RBIGame.com and get RBI Baseball today for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. And Eduardo Escobar with 2 down. Fastball at 94.
He's got plenty of giddy up. Remember in Cleveland last time Skoglund towed the slab, we were talking about you know, the lack of his changeup and doesn't throw it all that often, and how he could really incorporate that facing a lot of right-handed hitters. I talked with Dave Island about that, and he said that, you know, he's not the only one that doesn't have confidence in his changeup. He says Chris Sale had some issues early in his career with his changeup, but he had to rework his delivery a little bit. So he said that maybe they could tweak his delivery some and continue to work towards developing that very valuable pitch.
So his mechanics are not right to throw a changeup.
Yeah, and he's not on top. He's having a hard time creating a downhill angle, as tall as he is. I'd like to see him a little bit more, you know, with a little more angle. Now, I'm not a pitching mechanic like Dave Island is, but he says that at times you have to break down certain guys' deliveries. He's tall, 6'6". That's a good pitch there.
Man,
What's
Mike
wrong with
Winters
What's
is trying to see how many runs the Minnesota Twins can score tonight.
Yeah. Wow. Gosh. Sorry about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
It is.
Especially when the pitch that was called a strike to Alex Gordon the inning before. Well, despite Mike Winters' best intentions, Minnesota is scoreless in the third.
Not the birthday present that Jason Hamill wanted, but a happy birthday nonetheless to the right-hander who happens to share a birthday with his son Beckett, who turned 6 today. And so he also, that is not his son Beckett, but he also shares a birthday with that guy, that 57-year-old, which he did not wake up today knowing that he shared a birthday with Rex Hudler. But As for Jason Hamill, he said that his family is in Rhode Island this weekend because it is his father-in-law's birthday tomorrow. His father-in-law, Bill Nichols, who is a pancreatic cancer survivor, has a birthday tomorrow. Jason's daughter, Colby, turns 3 on September 19th. So a great month, a great day. And I thought it was nice to see Salvador Perez come over. He gave a big birthday hug to Rex Hudler. He said, "Thank you, Loco, for everything you've taught me." And then when I told Hud that he shared a birthday with Jason Hamill, Hud went over. There's a hit. And he had these words of wisdom, Ryan. When he found out he had the same birthday with Jason Hamill, he said, "There are a lot of birthdays like this out there today." And I thought, it's like that great philosophy quote of his, "Every day is a day."
Hey, it's special day, man. You know, and Joe, did you put Salvi up to that? Because
I did.
That made me feel good that he hugged me, gave me a birthday hug. I liked it.
Also asked Ned if he wanted to give you a birthday hug, and he said no.
I don't blame him, but he did shake my hand.
Something about an airplane and a parachute or something like that.
Yeah, folks are out of town. No, thought I'd invite Ned over. I got a nice couple ribeye steaks. Asked the skipper if he wants to come over and hang out. Didn't work out.
No, it didn't. Neither is this.
No.
Well, when Kyle Gibson is on, that's what he's getting, a lot of ground balls. So Cabrera grounds out 6-3 for a double play. And if you go back to the beginning of the 2015 season, there are only 3 other pitchers in the major leagues who've got more ground ball double plays than Gibson. That was his 67th since the beginning of 2015.
Wow.
Eric Hosmer struck out leading off the second inning.
I'd rather jump out of a plane without a parachute.
Yeah, I don't think we knew exactly what he was going to say. I had a feeling it wasn't going to be good. But you pressed along.
Conversation over. I thought it was a pretty good line myself. I didn't take it personal.
Two and 2 on Hosmer. Gibson has struck out 4. This is an important stretch for him. He is, or maybe was, a couple of weeks ago, skating on very thin ice. Even for a former first-round draft pick. That was 8 years ago, by the way. Chopped to first and foul. I remember when we were here to begin the regular season and the Twins were going on and on about how great Gibson's spring training was. This is it. This is going to be his breakout season. And by early May, he was sent to AAA with an ERA of over 8. And in his first 17 starts, his ERA was 6.29, but now in his last 6, it's under 4. He was about 1, maybe 2 starts away from going back to the minor leagues again and maybe never being seen again in the big leagues. But a good stretch over 6 starts, and he has 4 scoreless innings tonight.
Arlington. That's right, 2 teams that are in the wild card. Carlos Gomez hits number 17 off Ricky Nolasco. Rangers up 3-1. How about that?
So Texas 3 back. The Angels and the Orioles are a game and a half back. They are not getting good news tonight, as Minnesota leads the Royals 10-0. Baltimore is at home against Toronto, and the Blue Jays lead 1-0 in the 6th inning. More changes. Drew Butera will take over at first base, and Jorge Bonifacio will take over in right. And a strike from Eric Skoglund to Mitch Garver. Skoglund has pitched 2 scoreless innings. Ned Yost had to go to his 3rd pitcher tonight with nobody out in the 2nd inning. He had to go to his 2nd pitcher tonight with 1 out in the 1st inning. One and 2 on Garver. He drove in his first big league run with a single in the 1st inning. Minnesota got 4 in the 1st, and then he walked in the 2nd. The Twins scored 6 runs in that inning.
You know, I'm sure that it didn't totally shock Ned and Dave Island, because they have plans. You know, they have to talk about what ifs. What if Unelke Garcia can't get out of the 1st inning? What are we going to do? So, well, you know what? Let's try our other young guy. Let's give him his debut. Let's see what he can do. Machado. Well, I guarantee you they weren't thinking about the next guy right after the next inning. But Skoglund hasn't pitched since he's been back, so good call. And now it's good up for him. Last Sunday he pitched.
Hey, called 3rd strike. Skoglund's 2nd strikeout.
Check out our Missouri Lottery Fox tracks. Tell you that looked like a pretty good pitch. Call him. That's right. Open it up.
Eddie Rosario with 1 down. He is 0 for 1 with a sacrifice fly. Two and 0. Skoglund is similar to Jake Junis in that last year was a big over the hump year for him. Now he was drafted a lot higher than Jacob Junis. Skoglund went in the 3rd round. Junis in the 23rd round, but they had big leagues or big seasons last year at Northwest Arkansas. Skoglund led the Texas League in strikeouts. 134 strikeouts. He was a non-roster invitee to spring training this year, and then had that memorable big league debut on May the 30th against Justin Verlander and the Tigers. 6 1/3 scoreless in a 1-0 game. One of 18 pitchers in Major League history to have 6 shutout innings in their debut with 2 hits or fewer and 5 or more strikeouts. Paulo Orlando backs up in center field, 2 down. So it was easy to get excited for Skoglund. He had that great cap tip when he left the mound.
It's the best ever.
And looking at what he did last year, you can think, all right, well, this is something that, you know, the Royals and Skoglund can build on. And while he comes into a situation no pitcher wants to come into, he's an opportunity for him, maybe in a non-pressure situation, to just try and get back to where he was. He's had a good year at AAA.
Yeah, and sometimes that's the best scenario for him. Any guy.
How do you back up what he did in his big league debut?
Yeah.
The whole town was talking about him. 1 ball and 1 strike on Jimenez.
Got a nice keepsake with the lineup card on it. 3 baseballs were in the case. I saw it. It's really nice. Nowadays, you know, they take care of you. They do it up right. Back in our day, they just handed you the ball, the game ball, and said, here, and they wrote it up nice for you. And here, take it. And that was okay. It's a souvenir, but now you had the lineup framed and everything. And, you know, the lineups are a lot prettier now. They're a lot. They're better put together. They're colored. They got the team's logo on them. Especially ours. I mean, with Wakamatsu and his calligraphy he does on his, man, look at that. I mean, that would be good framed. Any game would take that card and be framed.
You put that in a museum.
Ah, I mean, that's all freehand too. I watch him do it. It's impressive. See that? Those logos, all that. They didn't have lineup cards like that. Always.
Even look at how he even writes the umpires' names. Now the cap's in the way. They were looking at. I mean, you could put a perfectly straight line underneath the umpire's name. So he takes his lineup cards very seriously.
Sure does. Way to go, walk.
That's the 2nd walk given up by Skoglund, and the 6th walk given up by a Royals pitcher in fewer than 4 innings. Now Ari Adrianza, he walked and scored in the 2nd inning and struck out in that same 2nd inning. I think the bottom of the 4th inning is the earliest I've ever discussed the neatness of a lineup card in my career. You?
Yeah, well, I think, you know, talking about Skoglund's great major league debut and then that start, and I got a peek at the beautiful keepsake he's got to hang on his wall. I think it fit. Something that him and his family will have forever.
Way outside, 3-0 on Adrianza. Three and 1. He has put on about 40 pounds since the Royals signed him. He was 170 pounds out of the University of Central Florida. That was just 3 years ago. Now he's listed at 210. Back-to-back walks with 2 down. So let's go back to May 30th, a happier time for a Royals fan. Ned Yost told him they're going to give you a big ovation. You soak it in. They're going to tell you how much they appreciated your effort today. And outstanding. Acknowledged his family who are sitting in the crown seats courtesy of Jason Vargas.
I love you signed to the mom and dad sitting right there. Way to go. That was proper. I'm getting goosebumps again. That was a very special moment. I mean, you could just see the excitement in his teammates on the mound with Ned, Esky, Haas, Moose. They all were in getting the vibes from the great crowd there at home.
And of all the thrills that most of the Royals have enjoyed, 2014 and 2015, and for them to talk about how much they enjoyed watching him walk off the mound and the goosebumps that they got with him walking off the mound, that says a lot. 2-1 on Dozier. This is his 4th plate appearance in the first 4 innings. Hud, your thoughts?
That's a strike. Call it.
Now you can't blame Dozier for taking off the shin guard. He's probably thinking, well, if the pitch before wasn't a strike, then that certainly isn't a strike.
Right.
The runners go, and Dozier cranks it to left field, and it's gone for a 3-run home run.
.92 inner half on a guy who loves heaters turned on it. There it was.
It is 13-0 in the bottom of the 4th inning. And now Joe Mauer, who is 3 for 3. He has driven in 2. Down and away, ball 1. Mauer drove in a run in the first inning with a double. Another run in the second inning with a single. One ball, 1 strike. And those 2 RBIs tonight give him 860, and that ties him with his good buddy and former teammate Justin Morneau for 5th all time, and that is his 4th hit. And when the Twins were racking up division titles, remember it was the M&M boys, Mauer and Morneau. Our sprint trivia question: name the 5 players with the most 4 or more hit games in the big league since 2010. 5 players with the most 4+ hit games since 2010.
And he's not one of them. Joe Mauer.
Is Melky Cabrera one of them?
Yes.
He is. He had his 23rd last night.
Good. How about Dustin Pedroia?
No. How about Albert Pujols? No.
How about Robinson Cano?
Wrong.
Okay, how about Trout?
Wrong. Fouled away by Buxton. So 4 more.
How about Altuve?
Correct.
Okay.
Three left. One and 2 on Buxton. Kevin McCarthy loosens up with 2 down in the 4th inning.
Future Hall of Famer Adrian Beltre's got to be on there somewhere.
He is not.
Wow.
Carlos Beltran. No. Oh, since 2010. Okay, so those weren't his prime years.
Andrew McCutcheon.
No. Out at second base. And that'll do it for Minnesota in the 4th inning. They have scored in 3 of 4 innings and lead 13-0 after the Dozier home run. And it's the sweet life with Salvi. Enter to win at Royals.com/Salvi for a private meet and greet. You'll attend batting practice and have an exclusive VIP suite experience at the game on September 28th. Compliments of Price Chopper. So the Twins have scored 13 runs in the first 4 innings. And Kyle Gibson's only given up 2 hits in his 4 innings. Strike 1 on Salvi. He grounded out to 3rd in the 2nd inning. We are discussing with our sprint trivia question the 5 players with the most 4 or more hit games since 2010, which is key because both of us have named some guys who have been around for a long time, but since 2010, for instance, Joe Mauer would have been a good answer if you're talking about the span of his career, but not since 2010.
Okay.
And we have Melky Cabrera, Jose Altuve, and how about Miguel Cabrera? Correct.
Okay.
Salvi on a hanging slider drives it into center field, and he's on to begin the 5th.
If you watch this, watch Salvi here, he'll hesitate just a split second when he recognizes it's a breaking ball. Watch them. He steps. Slight pause. Like how he just turned his hips and rotated his hips and used them there. That was very nice. Haven't seen a lot of base hits for Salvi since he's come back from the disabled list, but they'll take it. Look at Haas and company. They're all in there. Just because those guys are out of the game doesn't mean they're up in the clubhouse. They're hanging down there in the dugout. That's proper.
Cam Gallagher will run. Outside to Mike Moustakas, and Kyle Gibson pitched him up and away in the second, and Moustakas went with it and singled into left center. A line drive that was caught by Dozier, and then he lost control of it in transition.
Too bad Moose couldn't have got up underneath that one. That would have been out of the stadium if he'd have got that right. That ball was mashed.
Inside to Brandon Moss. He grounded out to Dozier in the second inning. Two and 0. The other two guys for our trivia question, I am told by Kevin Cedergren, we have seen both of them this season. Adrianza makes a play on Brandon Moss. 2 down.
Justin Turner.
That's a heck of a hint since we've seen 19 teams this year.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
They're both National League players. Nolan Arenado. Incorrect. Charlie Blackmon.
Stay hot.
Incorrect. Oh, and 1 on Mondesi. One ball, 1 strike.
Left-handed hitter or right-handed hitter?
One of each, I am told.
Ryan Braun.
We have not seen Ryan Braun this year.
My bad.
Mondesi, well hit into left field. 2 on with 2 out. You know, I was asking Ned Yost yesterday. We were going over the September call-ups, and with Mondesi starting the season with the big league club as the regular second baseman, and when he struggled, you figured, well, when he got things right, we'd see him again, and he'd finish the season here. And he did get called up again, but the Royals elected to have him basically finish the season in AAA. There's still a few more games for AAA Omaha, but he ended up hitting .305 at AAA with 13 home runs. He drove in 52. He also had 21 stolen bases. Jimenez to the screen, and it's on the other side. And you know, Ned Yost said something that I really hadn't considered, because I asked him, I said, well, did he do everything you hoped he would do at AAA? And Ned said, well, he finally had a good full season offensively.
Okay.
I thought that's interesting. I mean, here's a guy the Royals, you know, just handed second base to. He earned it, but at a young age. I mean, 21 when the season began. He's now 22. And it was the first full good season in the minor leagues. So I looked at his numbers. Full seasons in the minor leagues. He had 261. In 2013, he had 211 in 2014, then 243 in 15. last year, remember, he had that suspension, so he really didn't have a full season. So they really just wanted him to have a good full season at a high level and not have him bounce back and forth, worried about coming to the big leagues.
Yeah.
And he did.
That was a great swing that he took for that base hit.
Gibson has struck out 5 in 5 scoreless innings, pitching with an enormous lead. Inning. StubHub is your ticket out to once-in-a-lifetime experiences, and I'll bet a lot of those Royals fans use StubHub. From Royals games to amazing concerts to shows you just don't want to miss, StubHub connects you with the world of live. StubHub is your ticket out. It's the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Kansas City Royals. Kevin McCarthy will pitch the bottom of the 5th inning. Cam Gallagher ran for Salvador Perez in the top half of this inning, and now Cheslor Cuthbert is at 3rd. So that would leave Whit Merrifield and Alex Gordon as the only starters still in there. Paulo Orlando is there, and he makes a play to retire Jorge Polanco. He is 2 for 4. So McCarthy is the 4th Royals pitcher, and we're just beginning the bottom of the 5th inning. Eduardo Escobar is driven in 2. Minnesota scored 4 in the 1st, 6 in the 2nd, and 3 in the 4th. That is deep center field. And Paulo hoping to play it off the wall, but it's over the wall. And Eduardo Escobar, it's Minnesota's 2nd home run tonight. That's his 13th. And Minnesota leads 14-0.
McCarthy, a sinker baller, and that one just stayed straight, stayed up in the zone. Escobar was able to unload. He got up underneath it, put it in the front row.
A strike on Mitch Garver. Got his first big league RBI in the first inning. Now it's with a single. He has also walked and struck out. Onelki Garcia made his first major league start tonight, his second appearance with the Royals, and he got one out in the first inning and gave up 4 runs. Andres Machado, who was making his big league debut, got the last 2 outs of the first inning. A smash to Cuthbert. That's the second out of the inning. So Machado got the last 2 outs of the first, but then he gave up 6 in the second. And then Eric Skoglund pitched 2 2/3 scoreless, and then he got into trouble with 2 down in the 4th inning. He walked 2 with 2 outs, and then Brian Dozier hit a 3-run home run. So Skoglund was charged with 3, and now McCarthy has given up 1 in the 5th.
McCarthy, he's got all 4 pitches. Hard sinking fastball, low to mid-90s slider, change, curve. Likes to work down in the zone like most pitchers.
Oh, and 2 on Eddie Rosario. He is the only Twin who has not reached tonight. One and 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. McCarthy picks it up, and a long underhand on 1 bounce gets to Butera to end the inning. Eduardo Escobar homers for Minnesota. Their lead is 14-0 at the end of 5. Debut. This is our Sonic Slam inning. Our contestant is Elizabeth Tabor from Harrisonville. If the Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning, Elizabeth wins $100. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Elizabeth wins $25 grand from Sonic and the Royals. Brand Brandon Moss hit a home run in our Sonic Slam inning last night. Merrifield has struck out. He has grounded out to first. 0 for 2 against Kyle Gibson, who has pitched 5 scoreless innings. Gibson made his big league debut against the Royals. That was in late June of 2013, right here at Target Field, and he got the win. First round pick in 09, then he had Tommy John surgery, so he got here a little later than Minnesota had hoped. But on June 29th of 2013, he went 6 innings and gave up 2 earned runs and hit his first big league win. The starter for the Royals that day was Wade Davis. Who ever would have imagined after that day that Wade Davis would become the all-star caliber closer with the way his Royals career began as a starter. Wade Davis in that game against Kyle Gibson went 1 inning, faced a few batters in the second, did not record an out, and threw a major league record 67 pitches in 1+ innings.
Really? I remember that.
That was one of the low points for him.
Oh.
Grounded to Escobar at third. Right on the money to Mauer. And Witt is 0 for 3. But everything changed for Wade Davis the next spring training when Luke Hochevar blew out his elbow in spring training of 2014. And the Royals had just developed an elite setup man for closer Greg Holland. And all of a sudden Hochevar was gone. So let's put Wade Davis in there and see how he does. And the rest is history.
Check, please.
There were some low points for Wade Davis when he first arrived. Paulo Orlando is 2 for 2. Good to see where his base hits are tonight. He is single to center and now single to right.
That's him. They're trying to come inside right in the middle of the plate. Perfect stroke in the hole. Nice on the line. That feels good. Yeah. Good to see Paulo back.
This is Jorge Bonifacio's first at bat. He started in right field last night. And he was 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. Also reached with a walk. Man, look at the movement on that pitch.
This is as good as I've seen Gibson, and he's got using his changeup a lot more. He's attacking. He's on the attack.
One and 2. Lined up the left field line and caught by Adrianza.
Yeah, Adrianza, he's got good speed. Just watching him play for the first time. He's a guy who's been around a long time, drafted by the Giants, has a lot of minor league time, but he just doesn't have a lot of big league time. But he's looking at this as his last opportunity possibly to get there, as he checks his scouting report out in his back pocket on Drew Butera. Something new this year. We've seen from outfielders pull some stuff out. I don't think I've seen any in previous years, but stuff, pulling out a little scouting report in their back pocket.
0-1 on Drew Butera. This is his first at bat. He is playing at first base, taking over for Eric Hosmer in the fourth. One and one. Star Wars Day is coming up in 8 days. It's a theme ticket. And with that theme ticket, you'll get an exclusive Drew Butera TIE Fighter Pilot bobblehead and a ticket to watch the Royals take on the Twins. That is a week from tomorrow, September 10th. Royals.com/theme tickets. Full count. Gibson has not walked a batter tonight, which you would hope he wouldn't, pitching with such a big lead. And he has struck out 5. Paulo Orlando is running, and that's fouled back to the screen. Drew spent parts of 4 seasons here playing with Minnesota, 2010 through 2013. 2010 was the first season of this ballpark, and Minnesota won the division for the 6th time in 10 years. And then nobody really saw it coming, but the very next year was the beginning of 4 consecutive 90-plus loss seasons. Grounded sharply out to Polanco, and that's the inning. And now Gibson has 6 scoreless innings tonight.
Herrera last night could not finish it out with the injury. Our University of Kansas Health System injury report. Deep flexor in the wrist. It's a very mild strain. He's had this for a while, talking to trainer Nick Kenny. He's got full strength and range of motion, but when it gets tight, he loses some control of motor function. The deeper he gets into the game, the more pitches he throws, the more it can tighten up from a little bit of fluid in there. And then that's where you start to see some of the loss of control. Monty described it kind of like with your fingers, like steering a car, and suddenly you're losing that control a little bit, and that's what's happened. So they need to get that fluid out of there. They don't expect it's going to take a lot of time. The training staff felt all along that this has been manageable. They felt it was manageable the first time. They feel like it's manageable now. It is not up in the elbow, but the MRI confirmed everything that they had already known. So no elbow issue, probably rest for at least a few days, but there's the explanation as to what was going wrong and why he was suddenly losing some of that control last night, just as he did against Colorado.
Well, good news. You know,
yeah.
The guy talking about pain in his wrist or his forearm, throwing hard like that. You think an automatic trip to the disabled list. Jimenez strikes out against Kevin McCarthy, 1 out in the 6th inning.
And a good report by Joel.
So Kelvin will hang out in the Royals dugout tonight. Ari Adrianza has walked twice and scored twice. Up and away for ball 1. One on Adrianza, switch hitter. Taylor Rogers throws in the Minnesota bullpen, so that's probably it for Kyle Gibson after 6 scoreless innings. Adrianza has been on the disabled list twice. Started the season with a right oblique injury, and then in the middle of June went down with what was described as abdominal issues. And that's pulled deep to right field. Bonifacio runs it down in the corner. And now the first big league at bat for Nick Goodrum. And when he was announced into the game defensively last half inning, they put up on the board that this was his big league debut. So the crowd gives him a little extra. He was a 2nd round pick of the Twins in 2010. He takes a rip at the first pitch. He's been waiting a long time for his first big league at bat.
Yeah, 2,454 minor league at bats long. 7 years now he's waiting. Good for him. Playing a little bit of infield. They expect him to be an outfielder, though. He's a switch hitter. It's a lot of minor league at bats. Guys are all excited to see him get his chance.
One and two.
Pretty good sinker there. I don't know where that missed.
From 0-2 to 3-2. Broken bat. Butera slides and gets it to McCarthy for the out. So Nick Goodrum is a big leaguer. He has his first big league at bat. 14-0 Minnesota. Baseball is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, for all for less. That is the Rod Carew statue out beyond right field, in between Target Field and Target Center, where the Minnesota Timberwolves play. Taylor Rogers will get the 7th inning. Kyle Gibson goes 6 scoreless on just 5 hits with no walks and 5 strikeouts for his 3rd consecutive quality start. Kenny Vargas will play at first base for Joe Mauer, and Zach Granite is in right for Eddie Rosario. Cam Gallagher hits for the first time. He ran for Salvador Perez after Salvi singled in the 5th. One home run for Cam Gallagher. That was a grand slam in Oakland. And he drops a base hit into right field to begin the top of the 7th inning. Get ready to start your day with First Things First, weekday mornings on FS1 with hosts Chris Carter and Nick Wright, as they kick off the day with the latest in sports. First Things First premieres Tuesday at 5:30 on FS1. Nick Wright, formerly of our radio flagship 610 Sports, from there to Houston, and from Houston to Los Angeles. Chesler Cuthbert gets a base hit in his first at bat, and the Royals have 2 on, nobody out against Rogers in the 7th.
Rogers 88-92 with a sinking fastball. He tried to get in there with a heater and he wouldn't let him. That's 95 right there. Chesler said, "You can't get in there on my kitchen." Yeah, this guy's coming into the game late here, looking for some hits and getting them. Taylor Rogers also will throw a big overhand curve and a change.
Brandon Moss is 0 for 2. That is over the bag and fair. Vargas gets to the bag in front of Moss. Gallagher goes to 3rd. And Cuthbert moves up to second. And now Raul Mondesi will bat right-handed. As a left-hand hitter in the 5th inning, hit a nice easy swing and singled into left field.
It was a pretty swing.
Outside, ball 1. One and one on Mondesi.
Let's take a look at that nice swing he took his last time up. A little short stride there with the foot, like that, controls the upper body. Look at the head position right there. Head position's down through the ball, short, easy, kept his hands inside it and went to left field.
Swung over a slider, 1-2.
Huge upside.
Two down.
Taylor Rogers, he uses a couple different speeds to that curveball too, makes it more than just one speed on this curve. He's going to take a couple different paths to the plate with the change of velocity. One's tighter, one's bigger.
Alex struck out looking and swinging in his 2 at-bats against Kyle Gibson. Two 2-0. Down the middle for a strike. Alex has 24 home runs in his career against Minnesota. That's the most for any Royal ever against the Minnesota Twins. He has driven in 79 in his career against Minnesota. Buxton glides into left center field. So the Royals have runners at second and third with one out. Rogers gets out of that. And it's stretch time in Minneapolis. time for the unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Cleveland has won 10 in a row as they beat Detroit. The Royals are going to see a much different looking Tigers team when they are there beginning on Monday. Giancarlo Stanton hits his 52nd of the season, 26 of those since the All-Star break, and Rhys Hoskins another couple of home runs for the Phillies, 12 home runs in his first 24 games. So that gives Phillies fans something to get excited about. Phillies have the worst record in the major leagues, 51-83.
Kid got some pop, don't he? Man, he's not missing.
Trevor Cahill was reinstated from the disabled list yesterday, rejoining the Royals with the September call-ups.
Glad to see he was able to recover from his injury. 88-92 fastball, slider, curve change. He likes to sink his fastball.
One and one. Kenny Vargas bats for the first time after taking over at first base for Joe Mauer. Two and one. Past first base coach Jeff Smith. 2-2 on Vargas. .6'5", 290-pound Kenny Vargas.
Big boy. We were talking about his weight in yesterday's game. He'd lost. It's not the first time he's gone on a diet, lost some weight, huh?
3-2. And he's had an off season before where he's lost over 20 pounds, and that seems to be what the Twins want him to do this off season.
Yep. He's a big guy, you know, and for some hitters, I remember I was teammates with a few guys. One of them came to camp. He's a big kid, just big kid. His name was Matt Winters, #1 pick. Big kid and basketball player. And they got on him because he had a lot of baby fat. So finally one season he comes back to start the season. He lost 25, 30 pounds. And he was so proud of himself. But what happened was he lost his pop. He couldn't hit the ball over the fence anymore. Started having warning track power. So for some guys, it's okay to lose weight. Others, you know, maybe that's just who you are. Maybe that you're just a baseball player and that's your weight. You may not look streamlined.
Buxton has his third hit. Minnesota has 2 on and nobody out.
But you know, if an organization comes to me and says, hey, we'd like for you to drop some weight, I would say, you got it, I'll be ready. Camp.
And you're not a shoe-in to be a regular.
Right, you're on a board, you're on the fringe.
Fouled off of Gallagher. 0-1 on Jorge Polanco. He had an excellent month of August as Minnesota went 20-10 with the most wins in the major leagues in August. He was one of the best hitters in the American League during that stretch. No balls, 2 strikes. Not a guy you look at immediately and think is going to give you some impressive power numbers, but he had the second most extra base hits in the American League in August.
Quick hands. Trusting him. Confidence. Having a little success. Not overdoing it. Those are all the things his manager was saying he's doing now. He's not pressing.
Polanco strikes out on a 1-2 changeup, one down in the 7th inning. Our sprint trivia question was, since 2010, which 5 players have the most 4+ hit games? I
thought it was going to be easier than it was. This ends up being a good question. Tough.
We have identified Melky Cabrera, Jose Altuve, Miguel Cabrera, and you came up with Carlos Gonzalez. Alex runs into deep left center field, and that's an opposite field home run for Eduardo Escobar. That is his second home run of the game. He is driven in 5, and Minnesota leads 17-0.
Fastball right down the middle, 93, and not elevated, but it's over the plate. A great swing by Escobar. You got to give him credit. Multi-home run game. He pulled one from the left side, and now he went the other way with this other one here. And fans here in Minnesota, they're tickled.
Just the second multi-home run game in Escobar's career, and no Royals pitcher has been spared tonight. Garcia, Machado, Skoglund, McCarthy, and Cahill have all been hit with runs. One and one on Garver, and we also identified Denard Span.
Yeah, that's a good guess on your part. I wouldn't have got that. He's a big leaguer and has been a good one, but I was thinking more of a big name guys. He's had a nice career.
Look out. And that career for Denard Span began here with the Twins, and his big league debut was against the Royals in right field.
Okay.
We have just learned that Mike Winters is being paid by the pitch tonight.
Come on.
And he's telling Zach Granite what he's going to do with all that money after tonight.
Well, as many years as he's been doing it, he's probably had a few like this one.
This is Zach Granite's first at bat, and he grounds it out to WHIT. Mondesi shows off his arm, and the Royals turn the double play. Eduardo Escobar drives in his 4th, 5th, and 6th runs of the game with a home run. So that means McDouble sandwiches are only $1 tomorrow. The McDouble play all season long at participating McDonald's in the greater KC, St. Joe, and Lawrence locations.
That's nice right there. You see Whitley with that little backhand flip there? That really cuts the time down when you can do that. Both those guys have good arms. Good to see it.
Buddy Bashir's pitched an inning in the third last night. He will pitch the top of the eighth. Top of the order, Merrifield, Orlando, and Bonifacio.
Bosheur's 87 to 94 was the velocity on his fastball, curveball, changeup.
Curveball for a strike. Witt has struck out, and he has grounded out 2 times. Line to center field. Buxton is there, which you say a lot when you play Minnesota. He seems to be everywhere. Remember, if you can't catch a game on TV, you can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app, log in, and stream the Royals. Paulo Orlando is 2 for 2 since taking over for Lorenzo Cain very early tonight. Paulo came on in the bottom of the third with Merrifield lining out to center field. He, Brandon Moss, who's the DH, and Alex Gordon are the only starters still in there.
Do what you can. Heck, you get these, any at bats you get the rest of the way, the rest of this month. Good drive.
2 outs in the 8th.
Tomorrow day game, it's better than waiting all day for a night game. And then you just got to move forward. And you know they do. Ball players, they're resilient. They'll forget tonight. That's, you wash it down and you come back tomorrow ready to and prepared for battle. Do all you can if you're in that lineup. Ian Kennedy needs a good outing.
And as ugly as this is tonight, the Royals can still win the series.
That's right.
It feels more like just one loss.
Yeah.
Because of where we are in the season and how important these games are.
And that'll be a motivating factor for tomorrow. But the tone will be set by Ian Kennedy.
Irvin Santana will pitch for Minnesota. Irvin is 14-7. Ian chats with Ryan Stoneberg, the Royals strength and conditioning coach. Bonifacio has batted once, and he lined out to left field in the 6th inning. Irvin Santana with a 3.27 ERA, and suddenly Ian Kennedy's ERA is 5.47. Adrianza brings it down in left field. Buddy Boshears faces 3 in the top of the 8th. final result. The Royals beat Minnesota 7-6. No such drama tonight. Our Honda plays of the game. Minnesota scored 4 in the first inning. All charged to Onelki Garcia, who is making his first major league start. The first 4 reached against Garcia. They all scored. That was Mitch Garver driving in the 4th and final run of that inning. His first major league RBI. Then Minnesota would add 6 in the 2nd against Andres Machado, who's making his big league debut. 3 in the 4th against Skoglund. 1 in the 5th against McCarthy. 3 in the 7th against Cahill. And now Peter Moylan gets the bottom of the 8th. 1-1 against Chris Jimenez. One and 2.
See if Pete can get some work in that sinker slider. It's his 64th appearance, tying Dan Jennings and Brian Shaw for most games. He hadn't seemed to worn down. He hit a spot where he was elevating some pitches there during a spell. It all started with a grand slam by Yachty. And he kind of had a few games where he was up in the middle, but that was it. He's able to get back down in the zone again. The rally cat.
Conflicting feelings about that cat depending on what side of Missouri you live on.
Yep. It's a tough series.
Right to Mondesi. 1 down in the 8th inning. And now Ari Adrianza, who has scored twice. Now to Alex Gordon in left field. 2 down. And now the crowd gets behind Nico Goodrum for his 2nd big league at bat. Back in the 6th inning.
Crowd here at Target Field, they like him. That's probably just pulling for him to see if he can get his first big league knock.
Anyway, back in the 6th inning, he grounded out to first after a long battle with Kevin McCarthy. Broke his bat. Look out. He was way out in front of that slider, and that got into the crowd in a hurry. And fortunately, everyone has a smile on their face. That would not be something you'd like to remember your big league debut for, hitting a fan with a line drive in the crowd. One and 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. A one-time prospect top prospect in the Twins farm system. This is just more of a reward for hanging in there all those years after being drafted in the second round 7 years ago. And now Moylan will tag him out. So Moylan has a scoreless bottom of the 8th. We have achieved the 9th inning.
The room as his planet moon is being shown. We, coming up on Boulevard Royals Live, will break this one down as we always do, but a season high runs allowed. Tough night for the Royals arms, to say the least, and we'll get you ready for the series finale, final game of the year for the Royals up in Minnesota, and a chance to win that series. Analysis from Jeff Montgomery and much more coming up on Boulevard Royals Live. And HUD, you do not have to talk about the moon, but I'm sure you could tell us about Nick Turley.
Oh, absolutely. This young guy here looking for an opportunity. 4-pitch. He's a long man, so it's not exactly long man duty right now here in the 9th inning. Fastball, slider, curve change. Not overpowering guy, but he's going to try to throw some strikes here and get on to tomorrow's final game series.
Second at bat for Drew Butera. He grounded out to short in the 6th inning.
I guess not overpowering now is what, 90, 91, 88. I'd say 94 is a big league fastball. That's a little slightly above average. So he's got a little more than I gave him credit for.
Brandon makes a play in right field. Cam Gallagher is 1 for 1 with a single. One ball, one strike. The game began with Kyle Gibson pitching for Minnesota. A first-round pick in 09. And a first-round pick is going to get every chance in the world to succeed in the big leagues, even if they struggle in the minor leagues, or in the case of Gibson, has struggled quite a bit in the big leagues. The complete opposite of that is this pitcher right here, Nick Turley. Out to Goodrum, who gets his first big league chance. And there are 2 down. Nick Turley was taken in the 50th round. 9 years ago. He was the 3rd from last of all the picks in that draft in 2008. And he finally got to the big leagues this year. He'll be 28 next week. So a first-round pick started it for Minnesota, and now a 50th round pick will try and finish it off for the Twins. And ball 1 to Cuthbert. He is 1 for 1.
You got a chance, you got a uniform on, you go for it. You got a persevering heart, you do it. You gotta have belief.
On Chesler. Terrence Gore was the only man on Ned Yost's bench who did not make an appearance tonight. Well, Mondesi got in there. Drew Butera, Chesler, Cuthbert, Paulo Orlando, Cam Gallagher, Jorge Bonifacio all started the game on the bench and got into the game.
Rest those guys up and get them ready tomorrow. Big game.
3-1. Full count. A near sellout crowd here tonight. And they've been entertained all night. And if you're a Royals fan, it's just one game. And the best part about tonight is that it's over. Minnesota wins 17-0 to even the series at 1 game apiece.